Yes, hello. Okay, the micro works. Yes, I want to speak about the tagging project. Happily, Norbert told already quite a lot about what we are doing there. Let's look, I can do. That's not the first time I made such a talk. I spoke about tagging already a few times, and I wrote also a few articles. I don't want to inflict you to repeat everything I said there, so I'm now concentrating what is new in our project. My talk has 4 parts. I will at first make a bit of motivation, why we are doing this. Then I will say something about the well-tagged PDFs that we created, the examples, show the status list of packages that we started now, which shows which packages are compatible and which are not compatible. And at the end, say something about the progress about the problem of the tagging of math. Yes, why do we bother? As Norbert said in his talk, HTML is much more accessible. There's absolutely no reason to deny this. Yes, it's clear. It is in the core a structured language, so it already contains structure like H1 for a section or L for a list, and all viewers who have to render in HTML have to understand this structure. So they have to know H1 is a structure, and they have to know L is a list, and they have to build a document object model from the structure. Every viewer do this. So the structure is already in the viewer also. There are lots of books and standards and guidelines how to make HTML really accessible. There are lots of understand tools who do this, and really many experience about how to handle this. And the screen will handle this quite well too. PDF on the other side is a page description language. Norbert showed showed a part of it, and it basically says where to place some ink on the page, and there is no structure. Nobody knows where is a heading or where is a list. You can add this structure, but it's added on top, and it is not needed to render the PDF, so viewer can simply ignore the structure. And actually quite a lot do this. They don't know there is a structure in the PDF. And even if there are now quite a lot of tools who can produce tagged PDF, it is quite not well understood how ATU tools can access this structure and what they do with it. They are not. If you search on the net, you don't find much studies about how accessible PDFs are actually used or can be used, or what they do, and how to handle them. So PDF has a problem. So why nevertheless should we wonder about tagged PDF? Problem is that HTML has problems too. We are using PDF for a reason. There are millions of PDF around, and we are creating them, and people wouldn't do this if they were not benefit. Yes, for some reason PDFs are there. The problem with HTML that was also mentioned by Michael is that HTML is not so easy to handle offline and not so easy to archive. In HTML, the web page consists of many files. It loads a script from there, and a cookie from there, a session ID from there, and images from 3 other sources. And if you want to store this offline and use it offline, you have a problem. And you cannot rely, if you send someone an HTML, that someone else sees actually that what you wanted to create, that it sees. There's no faithful representation. It's not guaranteed. You cannot really send forward HTML. When I get an HTML mail from from a booking reservation forwarded from my husband, it typically looks very odd. Yeah, part of the images are gone because my email program thinks they are dangerous, and you cannot really store it long term. PDF has better standards for long-term preservation. PDF on the other side is one file, has faithful representation, you can use it offline without any problem, you can store it and take it with you, can forward it to a group. Long-term storage is basically good. Who knows what happens in 30 years, but nevertheless. And you can view it everywhere, which makes it better, for example, that other one-file formats like docx or EPUB or so that you can't view everywhere. For this reason, I think it's important that we cannot only say use HTML to people. They must also be able to use PDF. And so we have to make PDF accessible. So the goal of the TUG PDF project is we want to improve the accessibility of PDF documents. That should be easy and automatic so that as many as possible PDF documents are tagged. If it's difficult, then we get only a few very good tagged documents, but it should be easy. This will also improve the conversion to HTML. As you can see on the ngPDF page, if you have a tagged document and you upload it, you get actually a quite good HTML file from it. In one step, directly, without complicated handling of external packages or whatever. Yeah? The HTML is there, so you gain something, really also in sense of we want HTML. We want to push PDF to 0 because it's really much better for accessibility. If you think for math, for example. And the project should also push improvements in viewers and tools because it's clear that nothing is really perfect currently here. The viewers must better handle tagged PDF as they do now. Yeah? But they will only start to improve here if there are lots of tagged PDF, because as long as there are none, why should they bother? So, if you are interested in the project, we have now a main entry page in some sense. That's a GitHub page in the LaTeX 3 repository called Tagging Project. There you find, for example, documentation about a prototype document, so how you start with tagging. There are examples, well-tagged PDF examples that I will show a bit later. There's an issue tracker. Soon there's lots of errors still with packages where you can report issues or you open a discussion page. And we accept there also issues with external packages because that's the point. Yeah? And you find now, that's quite new, and I will show this later too, a list about the compatibility status of packages and classes. The well-tagged PDF examples. At the beginning of the year, there were two standards released. It's PDF 2A2 for PDF 2.0. That's an ISO norm, costs some money, and you can get it at ISO.org. It's about accessibility. The second standard is called well-tagged PDF, WT-PDF in short. It doesn't handle only accessibility, but also the reuse of PDF, because that's certainly also a point. Sometimes you want to extract data from PDF, from a table. You want to get this back in a way that you can process it. And that's reuse, and it's a bit extension, but you get it with tagging more or less in the same time as you get accessibility. This you get at the PDF.org page, and it's free, and it's more or less the same text as PDF UA, a bit more in it. So you can get, if you're interested, it's really enough to get the second standard. When they released this standard, they asked PDFA members if they can produce some files which follow this standard. At the start there were 1, Sophie. Now I think there are 3 in the list, but one we said we can, and we could. It was then we make some various examples and gave them to the PDFR. They're linked here. At the start it was 1 file, but then when we got more, we put them on a web page, and there it is a link. So I want now, so these examples are now also on our GitHub and in a discussion page. They show various examples. I will say a bit more about them. They were all generated with Lua LaTeX, because Lua LaTeX really is better for tagging. In a current tech live. At the beginning, we didn't show the sources because they used various development codes from various development branches from various GitHubs, and nobody could have compiled beside 2 or 3 people without problems. But since the latest LaTeX release, they can be compiled by everyone, and now the sources are available too for everyone to look. If you look at them, you can see that in some places we cheat and we have to redefine a bit stuff to get the tagging correct and work around problems and incompatibilities. But you can also see that the main document body generally is unchanged. All changes happen in the preamble, and the tagging, besides of alternate text for graphics, there's really no change in the body. It works. So if you're interested, look at the sources. There are a variety of examples in this source. We simply put more or less randomly try to get a large overview of different document commands. One was, for example, the Bible. The Bible was interesting because it's large. It's a really simple structure. There are chapters and lots of verse and nothing more. But it produced around 60,000 structure objects, because there's so many verses. And it really pushed the limits. So we found a few bugs which slowed down the code. The validator, VeraPDF, broke down the file because they had a bug too, which is corrected now. It took an hour to validate the file. So I saw the numbers going up, but now it takes half a minute or so. But it showed we need to check also with large documents. Another one interesting was Max and Moritz, which shows open problems with more than one language. So the document we found has an English introduction and then German text, but the screen readers not really can handle more than one language well. They either read the English text in German with a German speaker, or the other way around, and sometimes they even mix. And it's curious and shows a problem really with tools, and something that hopefully such examples will help to improve later. And we also tagged RML stock, RMS mass documentation, RML stock, which shows lots of mass examples and shows also that mass tagging works. I will say something more about later. But look at the examples and see already the range of documents we can support. The next topic is the tagging status of LaTeX packages and classes. Norbert said that there are many packages around and that they do all curious stuff. And naturally, a lot of them break the tagging, right? Because they override commands or define their own environments, and do not work. We thank here Ein Thompson, who started the initial list, who sent us a list collected from issues, and so triggered us to improve this list. We also thank a user, Bertucci, who obviously found it a new hobby and sent us constantly tests and packages and tells us if they break or do not break, and if they work and do not work. And this list is meant for two purposes. It should help users to a fast overview. Can I use this package if I want to create a text PDF or this class? It should also help developers because there are test files and links, and hopefully also package maintainer will look at it and say, oh, well, my package is unknown or incompatible, and perhaps I could do something about it. We help need it. So everyone who has an interest and want to test, look at it. The tests are typically quite short and easy to do. Try with a new package and record, and if you're unsure if tagging is correct, send us and we answer. It's really helpful. The more we know about package status and what breaks and what not, the better for the project. So I now have a lot of slides. They mostly should give you a bit of impression about this text status list. It starts with a number. This number is now completely outdated. I made the slide last Sunday, and I think now there are over 500 packages already in the list. In the meantime, everyone has worked. It shows there's a status. At the start is a bit explained how the table is set up. There's a status. We say compatible. It probably works, or we think it works. Partial compatible means some functions probably do not work. Uncompatible, there are real errors or real problems. No support are packages that we don't think will ever be compatible with tagging. An unknown is we have no idea. Oh. So let's look a bit through the list. It can be sorted. Currently it's sorted by status. So there are lots of compatible. So a font package typically simply do nothing about tagging, so they are compatible. Let's look a bit. So graphics, say there are sometimes a comments here in the graphics that for tagging you need to add an alternative text. So sometimes there's sometimes an issue related. Hyperf is compatible. As far, at least I always take care that it is. Sometimes microtype, you patches some stuff, there's a small comment. Da einfach hingucken. Here we are some partially compatible. Mass is still a bit open, so it's everything that relies on mass tagging is partially compatible. Beblatic currently requires hyperf, but I think that will change soon. Because without hyperf there is no sensible tagging. It will not error, but the tagging is not okay. We have sometimes packages where we have a fix, but the fix needs a special model. Here's the first edit module to work. So the package itself is not yet compatible, but it works if you load the first aid. So it's even quite impressive list. Here we have really incompatible packages, for example, caption. Caption package, we define so many eternals that it really breaks the handle. It overrides all the code we are doing for tagging, so it's currently not compatible. PF Strix is. So here are packages that we do not support. Hypertext XMP is not supported, but there is a replacement. If you use the tagging code, XMP metadata are handled automatically. So it's not needed. It's not a problem. Similar with PDFX, PDF standards and XMP metadata are handled. MD framed is not supported because it would need lots of work and it's actually no longer maintained. So in this case, there's simply a recommended alternative. And then there's a long list of packages we do not know what they do. And here the list is now already longer, so if you have time and want to help, try out and give us some feedback. It's a button and there's some classes, the class support in a similar way. Yeah? Memoir is incompatible, it redefines really a lot of stuff. The comma classes, there is work going on and I think they will be supported soon. Now the last topic is the progress in mass tagging. Mass is really difficult because PDF 1.7 and UI1 actually have no idea about mass. There is a formula tag that puts everything around and inside there's a black box. They do not know what to do with mass. PDF 2.0 this changed because PDF 2.0 has a massml namespace and so actually at least theory know something about massml, and at second it has the option to attach files to small files to a structure. And so this means we can attach a massml file to the structure and a conformant viewer can use this massml file and use this to read the massml, the mass. This is theory. Practice is that the viewer need to improve here. We started and discussed this with the Foxit maintainer, and he will provide in August a new version which is able to extract such a massml file and will pass it to NVDA. And the NVDA will also be able to use this together with a masspack plugin from Neil Sophia to process it and read it. As an example, if these tools are all there and updated and is a new stuff, then if you get them the mass such a norm and it has a massml inside, then the NVDA speech viewer will actually be able to say the absolute value of -1 is equal to 1, which is already understandable reading of mass. Yeah, massml will be there. This is something we made the first embedded mass at the end of last year, and since then have discussed with the people with the tools so that they actually use it. This is pushing the tools forward, and there is really progress going on. If you use a converter to HTML on ngPDF, it also is able to use the embedded massml. It will actually show the mass really good in an HTML page. It's both able to use the LaTeX source, which we embed to, and use massjax to show it, and it is able to use the massml source. So how to get the massml? That's naturally your open problem. Yeah? If we want to embed a massml file from our LaTeX source into the PDF, and where do we get them from? The first steps was semi-automatic. We used LaTeX ML from archive. to produce a list of MathML from the formulas and then to extract them. We also made tests with Stech4RT, which can produce MathML2. It's also so more or less semi-automatic. Authors can naturally simply do it manually. They can go to a browser, look at the formula, get some MathML, and then put it in a file and add it, and then it will be used by the tagging code. You can, if you are good in MathML, you can simply write it. So perhaps someone can it. The plan is to automate this fully, and since 3 or 2 days, we actually have in LaTeX the option to write out the MathML automatically to a file so that at the next one, the tagging code can use it. We have to test how good the MathML is. Probably there will be options. You will have some authors to adjust some MathML, to perhaps to add an intent in certain places. So if you want really good tagging, you perhaps will have still some manual work, but for normal cases, it should then be possible to get some MathML automatically. The next steps will be, well, I want to make a replacement for enum item, which is currently not compatible. The caption package, I think, is quite important and should be supported. We need to handle the language switches in Babel so that they are properly passed through. And we will have to start to go through all these lists, tagging lists, status lists, and to handle all the problems reported there. And much more, including automating MathML. And that was the status of the tag PDF.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions? Boris.
Oh, not me. Yeah, I have several questions. Ulrike, what would be easier, to read it one, answer, and next, or just give you all of them? One. Okay, first question from Luigi Scarsa. What is the current status of Vera PDF, and can it be considered as a reference validator?
Yes, I would consider Vera PDF reference validator. For PDF 2.0 certainly, because for example, PUG doesn't handle PDF 2.0 at all. So, and yes, I would trust, if in doubt, I would trust Vera PDF, also because we know the author, and so if there is something unclear, we can ask him.
The second question is from Lupina Arts. Is there a resource that tells me what do I need to make my packages compatible with tagged PDF?
Yes, the source is asking us. Yes, we are trying. There are some documentations. We have various modules in LaTeX Lab where we started to change the code, kernel code, and it's all documented. And normally I also try to explain what is needed for tagging in the documentation, so we can look there. But really, if someone wants, ask us, then we can discuss this, because we also need to learn what the packages need, and perhaps we want to adjust our code if the packages actually have different needs than we have in the kernel. Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the last question, I don't know, it was answered by David Carlisle in chat, but it might be interesting for others. Michael Sandquist asks that when you look at absolute value of -1 is 1, will the speech viewer read the absolute value independent of how it was input? Because one can think about other meanings of vertical bars. And David explains that you can do this in HTML with mrow intent, and and
exactly.
they discussed how to do it, and I just leave it here.
I would say, if you have a question about how MathML, the best MathML, ask David and not me.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. There is a lot of talk about this, but let's leave it.
Okay. So, more questions, comments? I don't see anything in the moment. So thank you again, Ulrike. And